From Jharkhand, this is a big twist in a case that we've been covering over the last few days. This is the Jharkhand Congress MLA cash claim. You might remember this is a controversy that involved three states, Jharkhand, Assam and West Bengal. Three Congress MLAs were found in West Bengal with large amounts of money. They were Congress MLAs. The report had come in, or the allegation had come in, that they were attempting to bring down, that the BJP was attempting to bring down the Jharkhand government. This was all part of a larger claim. Now my colleague Maria is with us to share with us the latest on this story after an Assam MLA, Piyush Hazarika, has tweeted out. Maria, if you could share with us what Hazarika's tweeted out, but also quickly if you could give our audiences context on this entire case. It is more complicated because there are three states involved. So if you could just lay out for our audiences what's taken place of the weekend and then tell us about this latest development.
Okay, so what Piyush Hazarika, who's a minister in Himanta Biswa Sarma's cabinet, is saying is a sequence of events. On 26 July, 9 a.m. in Delhi, MLA Jaimangal had a breakfast meeting with Chief Minister of Assam, that is Himanta Biswa Sarma, and Union Coal Minister Prahlad Joshi was present in that meeting. Remember, he is the one who filed the complaint against his other colleagues and had alleged that the three arrested MLAs, that they were offering 10 crores to topple the present JMM-Congress government. 31st July is when Jaimangal filed FIR claiming that three arrested MLAs tried to lure him to introduce them to Assam Chief Minister. If you look at the entire sequence of events, what the BJP is alleging through these photographs that have been put out by Piyush Hazarika and Himanta Biswa Sarma has also come on record now to say that there is much more to it than what meets the eye. Based on the complaints submitted by Jaimangal at the Argora police station in Ranchi, remember an FIR was registered against the arrested MLAs on charges of cheating, criminal conspiracy, sedition and under the Prevention of Corruption Act and Representation of the People's Act. This is what happened. So it was one of the Congress MLAs who had complained against other three MLAs, and then we saw how it played out and how the entire event played out. But the larger question then is, the question is, from where did the cash come? Because these MLAs have been found with cash. But Jaimangal himself had been trying to strike a deal, and there is much more to it than what.
Okay, I think we've actually lost connection with my colleague Maria Shakil, but Kamalika is also with us. Kamalika is with us from West Bengal to bring us more on this story. Remember, the three MLAs were originally stopped in West Bengal by the TMC government. Let's go over to Kamalika for more details on this story. Kamalika, a number of developments. Just so our audiences don't get confused, could you go into more detail about what Kumar Jaimangal has claimed, please? The Congress MLA.
Yeah, let me for our viewers, start from the, absolutely inception of the story. What happened? It all happened that on Saturday, three Jharkhand MLAs, Congress MLAs, they were detained. Initially, they were detained.
Okay, Kamalika, unfortunately, we have some breaking news. In this same case, we're going to go to that and then bring you more developments and more context. We have a statement coming in from the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. He's called the FIRs in this entire case fake. He's also gone forward and said, and I'm going to quote here, the so-called FIRs look like the Congress asking Ottavio Quattrocchi to file a case against the Bofors. So he's compared it to the entire Bofors scandal. That's the statement that's come in from the Assam Chief Minister. Now we're going to go back to my colleague Kamalika to understand with more context exactly what these developments mean. Kamalika, just for our audiences, can you bring us more context here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let us start from the start. What happened? First, it happened on last Saturday. Three Jharkhand MLAs, they were first detained by Howrah Bengal police as they had too much of cash, like 45 to 48 lakh cash was recovered from their cars. So they were detained, they were questioned. Sunday morning, they were arrested and the crates was transferred to CID. Now, when this cash, huge amount of cash was found from their cars, the allegation that came up from Trinamool Congress here in Bengal is that this is definitely the Jharkhand plan, because the BJP was saying that, they are, various quarters and also the LOP here said that there is Jharkhand next to Maharashtra. So is it the Jharkhand plan that was politically played up by Trinamool Congress? Then we get an information yesterday from the CID, sources in CID in West Bengal said that definitely these three MLAs, they went to Assam. On the other hand, this guy whose photo is, this MLA whose photo is now there with Himanta Biswa Sarma, that Piyush Hazarika has tweeted, he claimed that he was also offered bribe to topple down the government, and he did not take it. He was very good, and he lodged FIR against his own colleagues that they were convincing him to also to get 10 crore from BJP and topple down Jharkhand government. Now, today in the morning, the BJP has come out with these photos where the person who was accused that that he was offered money and he did not take money, he is himself having breakfast, lunch with Himanta Biswa Sarma and Prahlad Joshi. That is very interesting, strike by Assam BJP, where they came out with this photo. Piyush Hazarika has came up with this photo. Now, the Trinamool claim, if we say that the Trinamool is claiming that this is all BJP is behind it. The connection between Jharkhand and BJP is somewhere established. That is what the Trinamool Congress is saying. Number two, the fact that all the MLAs are going to Assam, that is so clear. That thing is also established. Interestingly, the fact that the person who is saying that he has been bribed and he is a very good person, he don't want a bribe, and he has filed an FIR, that FIR itself puts a big question, because the person who is complaining himself was having breakfast and lunch with Himanta Biswa Sarma. So that's a very interesting thing, the very interesting development where the Jharkhand MLA, what happens to, now look at Congress. What will Congress do? Some of the MLAs are, going with money. Some of the MLAs are filing FIRs. The MLA who is filing FIR is himself having lunch and breakfast with Himanta Biswa Sarma. It also projects the very poor condition of Congress, who really just can't stop their MLAs, and obviously the big game of toppling down.
Kamalika, stay with us. We also have our political editor, Maria Shakil, with us. Maria, in the Assam Chief Minister's statement where he's made that comparison to Attovia Quattrochi and the Bofors case, can you just explain what that comparison is to our audiences?
Yes, so what Himanta Biswa Sarma is saying, that there is much more than what meets the eye. That there is this twist that is visible, that there is there on the surface. And, because he has been, that these three MLAs were found with cash, but the FIR that was filed in Jharkhand was fake, is what he says. And the so-called FIR looks like Congress asking Quattrochi to file a case against Bofors. So basically, they are saying that, Quattrochi was himself involved in the entire Bofors scam. He was in many ways seen as the mastermind of the Bofors scam. And here the mastermind of this entire thing was Mr. Jaimangal, allegedly, as the BJP says, because Jaimangal had a meeting with Himanta Biswa Sarma and Prahlad Joshi, Union Coal Minister, just 5 days before he filed the complaint and FIR. And then he goes ahead and, files the FIR. What made him have that meeting in the first place? Why did he travel to Delhi from Jharkhand to meet Himanta Biswa Sarma if a few days later he were to file a complaint against his own party MLAs? So what is being highlighted in the larger context here is, Toya, that it is the Congress party's house which is not in order, that it is the Congress party which has much to explain, because there are 13 MLAs of the Congress party in the Jharkhand Assembly. And if the Congress, in itself is breaking away from from JMM and, trying to strike these deals or trying to have some kind of understanding with the BJP, then what is the BJP going to, explain in their context? So the larger story certainly is that so far we have seen about that discovery of cash, and that cash made it almost very difficult for...
Maria, stay with us, please, because I do want to now go over to